Hey guys, and welcome to my attempt at a conspiracy draft deck. You can see this is the deck that I drafted. So, let's start down here at our 1 mana cost spells. We start off here with Hunger of the Howl pack, which I decided would be quite an efficient pump spell for some of my creatures, or a surprise combat trick, particularly with its morbid effect. Useful because of the multi-way nature of Conspiracy. Whenever a creature dies, thankfully, instant speed, doesn't matter whose turn I cast it in. Here we have Quag Vampires. Once again, 1 mana for a 1/1 creature with multi-kicker and swamp walk. We can get to enter the battlefield with +1/+1 counters for each time it was kicked. Good little creature, nice mana cost for a 1/1 with the potential for evasion. With the multi-way nature of the game once more, there's a high chance that somebody else is going to be playing at least splashing black. Nice little efficient creature for a low mana cost. Here we move on to our 2 mana cost spells. We have Respite. Prevents all combat damage that would be dealt this turn, and I gain 1 life for each attacking creature. Good if somebody builds up a little army and decides to swing with it. Or good for just surviving that extra turn you need to make your opponents tap all their creatures so you can swing in for the win. We have Gnarlid pack, similar to our Quag Vampire with its multi-kicker. It gets +1/+1 counters for each time it was kicked, but this time it's more like a bear. 2 mana for a 2/2 creature with multi-kick. Good little guy. And here we have Provoke. Untap target creature you don't control. That creature blocks his turn if able. Draw a card. So we've got a 2 mana spell that allows me to be a bit tricksy in combat and potentially have one of my opponent's creatures he doesn't want to block with. And it's almost like pseudo removal for green with a cantrip on the end. That was the idea anyway. And here we have Echoing Courage. 2 mana instant. Target creature and all other creatures with the same name as that creature get +2/+2 until end of turn. Nice little buff spell. 2 mana for +2/+2 is okay, but it's the all creatures with the same name. And you'll see how that plays out a little later on. Here at 3 mana, we have Siphon Soul. 3 mana black sorcery. Deals 2 damage to each other player, and I gain life equal damage dealt this way. Perfect because of your 3 opponents. 6 damage. Well, 2 to each person, and for 6 life to me. Not bad for 3 mana. Here we have Elephant Guide. 3 mana green enchantment. Enchanted creature gets +3/+3, and when the enchanted creature dies, put a 3/3 green elephant creature token onto the battlefield. That's 3 mana for almost 6 power and 6 toughness worth of creature. Almost. Here we have the wonderful Squirrel Nest. 3 mana green enchantment. Enchant land. Enchant land has tapped. Put a 1/1 green squirrel creature token onto the battlefield. Good way to try and make an endless little swarm. And as you may have guessed, tends to work quite well with our Echoing Courage. Squirrel tokens all have the same name after all. And here we have some of my black removal. Assassinate. Destroy target tapped creature. With people tapping creatures to attack for each other, hopefully not me, allows me to remove any threats I think are particularly dangerous, even if it is only sorcery speed. Now we'll move on to our 4 mana cards, starting with Howling Wolf. 4 mana green creature, 2/2. When Howling Wolf enters the battlefield, you may search your library for up to 3 cards named Howling Wolf, reveal them, and put them into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. Once more, I drafted this to try and play off of the Echoing Courage theme. 4 mana for a 2/2, not terribly efficient, but he gets to look for friends. Once more, same name, playing in with Echoing Courage. Predator's Howl. 4 mana, instant. Put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. However, morbid, put 3 2/2 green wolf creature tokens on the battlefield if a creature died this turn. Lovely little spell. Once again, particularly useful with lots of people's creatures potentially dying. For 4 mana, I get 3 2/2 creatures. These all have the same name, thus being buffed by Echoing Courage. Here we have Death Reap Ritual. 4 mana enchantment, black and green. Morbid. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, you may draw a card. Card drawing green is always helpful. Nice when you find it. And it's morbid. It's reasonably easy to trigger given the, again, multi-way nature of the game. Lots of different creatures, lots of the potential for them to die. And here, in our 6 mana slot, we have Elvish Aberration, a 4/5 green creature that taps for 3 of any mana, that's 3 green mana. However, I mostly chose it for its forest cycling ability, which allows me to pay 2 mana, discard this guy, and go and get a forest into my hand. Useful for trying to fix my mana, considering I have 2 different colours in the deck. However, late game, should I draw him, he's a reasonably beefy sized creature for 6 mana. Not the most efficient creature, but his swamp cycling, forest cycling rather, helps him in the early game. Then we move on to my fatty bomb, Pelaka Worm. 7 mana for a 7/7 creature. With trample, when it enters the battlefield, I gain 7 life. When it dies, I draw a card. So, 7 mana for a 7/7 creature with 3 different abilities, one of which is to gain 7 life. Seems quite efficient, especially as it's just a one-of. The potential for ending an opponent that just won't stay down, just has too many little blockers. So, as you've probably worked out by now, the majority of my deck played around Echoing Courage with my little token generators and the Howling Wolves. Unfortunately, this meant that I didn't have access to a lot of the particularly fun conspiracy cards in the set. And, it may not surprise you to find out, that held me back a bit. Firstly, it was a bit of a shame to be playing conspiracy and to not draft conspiracy cards. Not the brightest move I've ever made. Secondly, those cards actually mix it up a bit, keep your opponents guessing, make you wonder what's going on. Another drawback I had was, though I managed to get the 4 Howling Wolves, in theory making them efficient, 4 mana for a 2/2 didn't end up working out very well for me. My lack of evasion made it very difficult for me to block my opponent's early flying drops, and that meant I was quite vulnerable to lots of very early beatings. Shame. However, should I have had the time to pull off the little combo, or the little interaction, maybe I would have been okay. Still, my suggestion, pad out these lovely efficient creatures with some more tricksy spells and some more of the conspiracy type creatures, and you'll be well on your way to a victory in Magic the Gathering Conspiracy. Thanks guys, and until next time.